ARTTI T10 Pro. Let's talk about it. This is a sample sent out to me by ARTTI. I have never reviewed one of their products before. I do have one of them graphed, and we will talk about that when we do our graph section. They reached out to me, and I wanted to be as transparent as possible. This is a single planar IEM. I'm typically not a fan of planar IEM, so it's interesting whenever someone sends me a planar IEM. It costs around $82. Let's talk about the build quality of this IEM. Now, this is a very tiny shelled IEM, almost like an earbud style. It is metallic. It has a fantastic nozzle. I didn't have any problems with isolation or putting the cable on it. I like the faceplate. It does come in metallic white, but I did request black, and they gave me that choice, which is nice of them. I do like this black design. I think it's pretty fantastic, and it's pretty awesome. This is a screw termination style cable. It comes in 3.5 and 4.4. They're pretty easy to do. You just kind of unscrew it. You have to kind of line them up, and you're good to go. It's kind of a nice cable. I like the color of it. It does have a non-branded Y-split and a chin slider that stays in place in an appropriate manner. It does have ear hooks on it, and it is a 2-pin cable connector. If we look here, you can see there is a right and left indicator, which is a little hard to see, but not too bad. It includes 2 sets of tips and a 4.4 connection as well. It does include a case. I mean, it's not super exciting, but it does have a brand. It has a nice little zipper. It feels good in hand. I like it a lot. Now, how does this IEM sound? Bassy, detailed, and clean, which is a hard thing to pull off. To me, this sounds extremely good, and I really like the sound of this IEM. There aren't a lot of massive faults to it, and I think this is an extremely enjoyable IEM that I have fully grown to love and adore. Let's go ahead and start by looking at some graphs, and then we'll talk about some comparisons, and maybe we can get into a little bit of why I like this IEM as much as I do. Now, let's look at the graph of this guy. You'll notice it does match the curve pretty well. It has a nice rising base shelf. Let's go ahead and normalize this at 500. Sometimes squiggling gets a little bit odd, but you'll notice that it does have a lot of bass. It does have a lot of upper mids, a nice dip as it kind of rolls down, and then it has a really nice treble extension. It's a nice graph. I've seen a lot of nice graphs, but they don't always sound good in ear. This sounds good in ear and has a nice graph. I do have the ARTTI R1 is on loan from a friend. I've just been really busy. The channel's doing really well, and I appreciate everybody's support, getting a lot of high-end loans. And so I haven't got a chance to review the R1, but it does sound pretty good. I will probably get to it in the next few weeks or so. Depending on when the owner gets it back, but I just wanted to be transparent since it is on my rig, and I wanted to be clear that I have not yet reviewed that. Again, if you're interested in it, just mention in the comments below, and we'll try to get to it. The next thing I want to show you is my first planar ever that I had from the great Critical. I mean, just because it's Critical doesn't mean it's good. It's not good. It didn't really work for me. It was a massive shell, very, very bright, weird upper mids, no bass. I mean, it's not a bad IEM, but it definitely wasn't for me. And so I just wanted to point that out. Another one I have on my desk is from the KZP ZRX. And this has a graph. Like, in some ways, it might be better than the ARTTI T10 Pro. But, I mean, there's something weird about the KZP RX. I might do a review of it, but it's just, again, one of those IEMs that I bought with my Winsall coupon. It's just not very good. I didn't really like it. It is the best graph of all the KZs, and it is a decent set, but it is just something that I couldn't really grasp. There's something about the air and the treble being spiky and just unnatural and just coloring up my music in the worst way possible. Kind of a lot like the Dark Saber. Like sometimes you'll get graphs, but then like the IEM doesn't have a cohesive nature to it, and that's kind of the issue. And the KZPRX is a worse choice, and I can't recommend it at all. It is a terrible IEM, but there you go. Another one to look at is the Campfire Moonrover. Mine is actually on loan right now, so I'll probably do some ABs with it here in a bit. But this is one of the few planars that I actually liked, and I really think ARTTI did a really great job with this. And it has a lot of great qualities that I really like. But I mean, there's not many planars that I've even recommended, and the Moonrover is one of them. But again, it's also $1,200, and that's just completely insane for me to recommend to everybody. Another planar that I liked but I had problems with was the Hitiz MP145. Now I like this set, and you'll notice there's a lot of similarities in the graph. But the thing about the Hitiz MP145 is that, it's about 150. It has a massive shell. There's a little bit of controversy about the drivers and what was going on with it. I didn't really get into it. I just got it on loan and reviewed it, but I thought it was pretty good for what it was. I think it's a fantastic set, but like shell-wise, it's just so big. It's like 3 times the size of the ARTTI T10 Pro. And it's almost double the price as well. And so that's really something to think about and to note. Other planars, like the Let's Shure S12 Pro, it has so much of this mid-treble region, which I don't really like. I like a dip, like a full-blown downward spike dip. And so there's something about the S10 Pro series that didn't really work for me. If we look at something like the NiceHack F1 Pro, it's basically the same thing. Nice bass shelf, ton of upper mids, ton of this, 6 to 8K kind of region, which doesn't really work for me. It fatigues me extremely quickly. But if you're not sensitive to that, it's not a big deal. But for me, since this is a sensitive area for me, that's why I personally don't really recommend the NiceHack F1 Pro, and that's kind of my fault with it. And it just, it's one of those IMs that sounds great for an hour, but after that, I just want to throw it down and just, it's too much. And that's kind of how the sensitivity feels for me. Another one I like, the Let's Shure S12 2024 edition. I got this on loan from a buddy as well. And, I like this IEM. I think it has some good things. It has a little bit of too much energy here. You'll notice that their curves are pretty similar. The T10 pulls this back a little bit more towards the preference bounds. And it's just a little bit more of a refined tune for me. And it has all the same qualities and characteristics of the Let's Shure S10 Pro. But to me, it's even better. And it's just an absolutely fantastic set. And it really hits the nail on the head as far as planars go. As far as other planars go, I mean, there's the S08. I like the S08. I think the S08 is a fine set. But the problem with the S08 is it's almost too safe. It's almost too neutral. It doesn't have this extension. It doesn't really have a lot of upper mids. It's just kind of mellow and chill. Not that it's bad, but that's its major fault. But it comes in at a really reasonable price and has a nice cable. But guess what? The T10 Pro has a really nice cable. It comes in at a really nice price. So like if someone would ask me like, what are you going to recommend? Definitely the T10 Pro. And I mean, another one that I got recently is Fio. And I've reviewed Fio's products on channel before. This is like their third IEM that I reviewed. And it just had a little bit too much of a presence region here. A little bit too much of this mid-treble region. I thought it was, the Fio FP3 was kind of mid. It's not a bad IEM. It's very beautiful. Has a nice cable. Has nice everything. But it just doesn't have the refinement of something like the ARTTI T10 Pro. And one other thing I kind of wanted to show you is the Kiwi Ears 4. I mean, this kind of has a little bit more of a V-shaped tonality to it. You'll notice some tuning philosophy similarities. between this and kind of a JM1 style. It's like the KE4 is what I call almost perfectly flat, and where the ARTTI T10 Pro gives to this almost like a mild V, like a respectful V, not super intense. And so the ARTTI T10 Pro gives us just a little bit more lift, just a little bit more engagement, bass, and detail than something like the KE4. I can see how people would like the KE4 because it has really great sparkle and air, but it's one of those things where, like, yeah, my KE4 is also on loan, so I'm probably going to do some comparisons here in a bit. But I just wanted to show the graph and say that I really think this thing competes. And if you're looking at something like the KE4, thinking, man, that looks really lean, a little bit lean in the bass, a little bit lean in the upper treble, I think the ARTTI T10 Pro really kind of fixes that without going overboard and going too much in that direction. Okay, let's rank the ARTTI T10 Pro up. Nice bass, nice upper mids, nice highs, great technical performance across the board. Like, it images very well. It has good sparkle, good detail, good note weight, and a great soundstage. It becomes to me one of the IEMs that I'm going to highly recommend. I think there are some faults to this IEM. Like, it does have a little bit of what we call a sound, like noise floor. There's a little bit of noise to it, but it does have a lot of bass. It does have a lot of treble. It does have the right amount of detail, sparkle, and air. In my ear, it works really well and really fantastic. It gets a strong recommendation in a land where I don't recommend that many planars. But for people that like my curve, that like my preference, I think the ARTTI T10 Pro, it gives a lot of lift. It gives a lot of pizzazz, and it represents to me a fantastic value in the market, and it's a real winner. And I'm really happy I got to be able to experience this IEM, and I'm happy to be able to share it with you guys. The ARTTI T10 Pro, nice little set, cute, great cable, great little case, nice hi-fi package for anyone. It gets my default recommendation at under $100, and I think, you know, if you're looking for a planar that doesn't sound like a planar but has all the great qualities of a planar and is a little bit more refined, I think this might be the one for you. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. Thanks for watching my video. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye. You're still here. It's over. Go home. Oh, you're expecting a teaser for our next video. Well, we don't have that kind of money. What are you expecting? One of those store reviewers to show up in a saucy little leather number? Go. Oh, I can tell you one thing. We are going to have a collab video. We have no idea what it's going to be. Probably Kryn, maybe Chris. Or Joyce. Don't deny it. She's got range. Go. Get out of here. Go.
Go!
Go.
Go on with you!